Hello and welcome to today's video. It has been a while. In fact, over 6 weeks, because my little one will be 6 weeks this coming week. And I filmed my last video right before she was due, just kind of letting y'all know she was coming. And so today I thought I would sit down, just a full warning up front. Like, the video is kind of chaotic. Like my brain's a little frazzled and therefore it wasn't the most organized thing in the world. But you know, I did it. I sat down. We were playing with some makeup that is relatively new. A lot of things either that I haven't used in a while and that kind of thing. And so yeah, I'm gonna give you a little life update, say hello, play with some makeup again. I've missed wearing makeup. This is my third time wearing makeup, I think, since like the last video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, as we get started, I have to say this is very odd to film with a newborn in the next room trying to get some sleep. She is like a sleep fighter to the T, so I don't know how loud to talk. Hopefully it's not too quiet. Also, Bo's here, so he's like in another room listening to a video. Hopefully you can't hear him either. But first off, I'm going to go ahead and put some just concealer on my lids. And today I'm very excited because I actually got this palette right before right when I found out I was pregnant with her back in April of last year. And I have not, I think I've used it once, so you can probably see yourself, but this is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 and like the special packaging. And like I said, I've only used it once. I think I used the pink shade like once, yeah. And so today I really kind of want to do a pretty simple look using that that very dimensional shade, and probably just throw this in my crease and just see what it looks like, or maybe all over the lid and then put that over the top. And we'll see. I'm really excited to get my hands on it because it looks so beautiful, and that's kind of what suckered me into buying or asking Bo for that palette. He bought it last year for me as like a little gift. I think it was like a little Pat McGrath sale. I know that she does like springtime sales once in a while, and I want to say I was like, I saw the springtime sale last year and I was thinking to myself, I want to buy a Pat palette. Like I'm just ready to try it. Let me like kind of reward myself for a hard year and just like get one. And I couldn't make my mind up which one I wanted, so I was telling him, I was like, I either want this one or this one, and I don't know which one. And I think it was like the last day of the sale, and I was like, I give up. Like, I can't make my mind up, so therefore I'm not gonna buy it. And he, when it showed up at the house, I was shocked. So he just was like, picked one. And I'm super happy with it, even though I'm not really using it yet. It's gorgeous. Also, as we get started, I will be tablet copying back and forth to give you like a life update and talking about makeup some, because a lot of this makeup I haven't touched. Either I've never used it, I may have used it one time, or it's stuff that has been in storage and I haven't used in a really long time, like in a couple of years, because, or at least a year, because when we made a trip back home one time from Sweden, I went ahead and like put a bunch of my makeup in storage because I knew we would eventually be moving back. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I had a baby in December 21st. She is adorable. I am biased, but I think she's absolutely beautiful, and she is kicking my butt every day. She loves to stay awake. So far she's like almost 6 weeks, and she likes to sleep, because all babies do, but also when she likes to be awake, she likes to be awake, and she doesn't quite know what to do with herself yet, so she stays fussy a little bit when she gets tired, but then she won't let herself go to sleep. So I'm learning how to deal with that. Also, Bo is starting the transition of going back to work, so that has been something to kind of like get our bearings with and like learn how to, like, not necessarily, nothing's changed with how to take care of her, but I find that I'm still having to get confidence in my ability to take care of her, because especially like the first week that Bo went back to work, I was like terrified. I was like, I'm gonna mess up, and all day I was kind of on edge trying to like just convince myself like I'm capable of doing this. I have not really been around babies very much, and yeah, it's the first week, or the first week that he was away. He was only away a couple days out of that week, but I was not thriving, I'll say that. So I just went in with the shade here, and now I'm just gonna take the shade on my finger and like place it on my lid, and then maybe blend it up into my crease a little bit and kind of be done. Maybe I'll put a shade on my inner corner, but I'm not gonna go too crazy because I really just want to see what the shade is capable of. Oh, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but it's so green in my mirror. Very cool. But yeah, perhaps I should back up and just say, like, you know, I did have a baby. She is healthy. I know I shared in a couple videos previously that my end of my pregnancy was pretty hard. We had some really, like, the third trimester in general was really hard. I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes, and then there were some other diagnoses thrown our way. She had a really prominent heart arrhythmia early on in the third trimester. It got better, but didn't go away, and then when she was born, it did go away. They told us that it tended to happen, but she was checked out a couple times to make sure that it was okay, and I'm so thankful that it was. She is so healthy. She was so healthy right when they handed her to me and put her on my chest after she was born, and I'm, again, just so incredibly thankful for that. And I could do a whole video on what it was like to come home with her. I won't, but oh my lord, like yeah, it was a learning curve, at least for me. Bo has baby experience, but you know, there were so many things that, especially trying to figure out how to breastfeed, and there were things that I just, even though I had watched a ton of videos and read a ton, there were things that I just didn't get until I was in it, and I'm still trying to deal with it. In fact, earlier this week, thank goodness, again, Bo was home a couple days as he's like kind of transitioning back slowly. I have ended up getting mastitis, which was awful. I'm still taking antibiotics for it right now, so not fun. I'm still trying to figure that out because I have a feeling that I'm gonna kind of struggle with that as I go along, so I'm trying to figure that out. But breastfeeding, not easy. I enjoy it, but definitely not easy. Okay, for the sake of my sanity and the fact that I know I need to feed her in about an hour, I'm gonna move on, even though I don't love how this eyeshadow looks on me, at least not in the viewfinder. It looks a little, I think this is, like, the shadow ends up being a little bit more dramatic because of that shade shiftiness that it has. So it would probably be something that I would do better wearing lashes with. That's tend to how I make myself feel more comfortable in more dramatic eyeshadow looks. But I'm obviously just sitting around the house today taking care of a baby, so that's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna go on and move on to my face products. I'm trying out my Prime and Fine. The climate here is very different than Sweden, very different than when I was home. It's more similar to Sweden in some ways. Like, Sweden wasn't very humid. This place is the desert, high desert, so it's definitely not humid. But I'm thinking about adding this to a project pan later this year when I finally get back started. So I wanted to try that out. And then also, this is a product that I think I used maybe once or twice when I was home this summer, but I haven't used it since. So I wanted to try out this again. I don't remember if the shade's okay for me, but it is the Smashbox. I remember like Steph likes it a lot, but the Smashbox Halo, it's kind of like a tinted moisturizer kind of feel, which I probably should have put some concealer on first, but I'll maybe have to build it up anyway, so maybe it won't be a big deal. Yeah, I think that shade's fine, maybe a little light. I have already noticed that I get more sun here in New Mexico, obviously, like there's so much sunshine here, and Sweden, especially like during the winter time, it's dark, so I have more color on my face in the winter than I have in a couple years, which is kind of odd for me. Not to mention that my pregnancy, like skin darkening, is starting to lighten up now that I'm not pregnant anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some concealer. I probably should have used a more hydrating primer today because I feel like my skin is just kind of dry. I'm a little bit probably dehydrated, if I'm honest with myself, but yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with that. And this concealer is a bit sticky. This is another one that I had, the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, another one that I had purchased during the, I think it was like the spring sale last year, and I was so excited to try it, either that or the Sephora sale, and I was so excited to try it. Tried it, remember liking it during the summer, but then I was like, again, like well, when we were home during the summer, I knew we were moving back, so there was no point to bring it to Sweden. So it's one that I'm like still trying to remember how I like it, how I use it, how much I can use of it. I'm very familiar with my other concealers. Like, I know how to use my Tarte Shape Tape because I've used that for a couple of years and it's my go-to. but I've definitely got to learn that concealer a little bit. It's also a little, I think I grabbed the lighter shade. I bought 2 shades. It's a little light for me, which is odd because again, it's like winter time. That shouldn't shouldn't be that light, but I have the e.l.f. hydrating camo concealer that's too dark for me, and so I will go ahead and just kind of mix this. I like to use this on my face like to conceal blemishes and that kind of thing. In my head right now, I'm kind of struggling with how much of an update to give from like the birth experience and stuff. Again, like I could go and drone on and on and on about what my labor was like because I was induced because of my gestational diabetes, and that was an experience. Everything I thought, or some of the things I thought would be hard about induction weren't hard, and some things that I didn't anticipate being hard were hard about induction. So that was an experience and a half. And the recovery process afterwards, again, like I kind of had like mentally wrapped my mind around some of it, but experiencing it was another thing. Like, yeah, I did not, like, for example, I'll give one example. I did not know that I would be swollen for like it literally took almost like 10 days, I think, before my swelling went down. Like the next day after it, or like the couple days right after I gave birth, my legs literally looked like they had doubled in size. My thighs, my calves, my ankles, my feet, everything. Like, it was crazy. I was like, I did not expect that. But I mean, like, your body has gone through a like legit trauma. So on some level, I'm not surprised now, but at the time I didn't know what was going on. I was like, am I okay? Like, is this normal? And they were like, yeah, it's normal. I'm like, are you sure? Because it was scary. But I have to say, I have missed everybody. I've tried to watch YouTube videos. I haven't been the best about like commenting on people's YouTube videos. Heck, I haven't even finished replying to comments on my old videos, which is kind of pathetic and sad. Like, I really don't have an excuse for not responding to comments. I need to get on that. But yeah, gonna go ahead and set my under eyes and my face. But I definitely miss everybody. I appreciate if some people have commented on, I've seen a couple comments even though I haven't responded to comments as quickly as I'd like to. I've seen people wishing me well, and then even going back afterwards and being like, hope the delivery went well. I've had a couple people message me on Instagram, and I'm super appreciative of people, and how just over and over again I'm reminded of how caring this community is, and I find myself missing it so much. There are so many days that I have like gathered up a pile of makeup and hoped to have time to film, and just ran out of sunlight, ran out of time, because baby girl is like, she's feisty. She's already kicking both my butt, which I really enjoy, and I can hear her crying. Luckily Daddy is in there with her, but today she has not wanted to sleep. She is discovering more and more lights, and she's seeing more clearly, and so we set up a play mat for her today, and I feel like that's all she wants to do, even though she's like so tired she wants to sleep at the same time. So we're trying to figure that out a little bit more. Sorry, I had to go feed her real quick, but she's awake, and I'm about to hand her off to Daddy so he can put her down for a nap. But I figured I'd show her off for a second. She's very chubby now, 6 weeks old, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, resuming makeup. I don't remember what I was saying, but while I was feeding her, I got to thinking, and I literally realized that I had not even, I take for granted that I haven't really introduced her. Like, I had all these grand plans of how I was going to introduce her on my channel. Like, for example, I knew she was going to come right before Christmas, and I was going to do a what I got for Christmas video. I thought it would be really cute, but you know, I really overthought that I have a newborn, and when I'm gonna have the time or energy to kind of make a video like that so soon after her being born. So that didn't happen, and now it's 6 weeks later, and I have shared her name on like my Facebook and on Instagram, but I realized I haven't actually said it on here because I was gonna save it for a video. So for those of you who aren't on Instagram, her name is Gayless Bow. And the reason why we chose her name is my maiden name is Gillis, and it's Scottish in origin. And believe it or not, I actually saw the name on like a TV show. It's like Outlander or something like that. There was a character named Galus Duncan, I think it was. I like the show. I don't love the show. I'm not like a hardcore fan. That's not why I named her that. But when I heard the name, I was like, oh, that's so cool that it's so similar. It's literally like almost my maiden name, but add one letter. And I remember like that was kind of like a trend not too long ago, a couple, like maybe like 5 years ago, people were naming some people who have maiden names who could like name their kids that. They were doing that, and I was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that with my maiden name. And then when I heard that name, I was like, oh, that's so cute. And plus it's also Scottish in origin, so we fell in love with that. Bo and I thought it was kind of unique, and her middle name is Bo, literally after her dad, so we thought it was kind of cool and fun to be able to name her both after myself and after him. I really like her name. I also know that when I was growing up, I had a very unique name and I kind of hated it for a long time, but I also had trouble like pronouncing it. So hopefully she doesn't hate us for too long with having such a unique name. And hopefully, especially like once I became like a teenager and an adult, I really learned to appreciate my name. But you know, hopefully she won't hate us for too long, and one day she'll learn to enjoy her name. By the way, I just used the Kylie bronzer, and I completely forgot that the only blush that I pulled out was this guy here to try. I didn't pull out another blush. All of my blushes in the room with her, where she's trying to learn how to take a nap and stay napping. So I'm gonna try, this is probably a mistake, I'm gonna try this blush in Pinched from Flower Bomb. I have not tried this yet. Bought it back again in the spring and just haven't had a chance to use it yet. I'm gonna try it over the top of this powder situation, which is again probably a mistake, but let's just go for it. If it ends up messing it up, then I know in the future don't put powder, or don't put this blush over this specific combination of powder and foundation. So we'll see. It's really pretty, and from what I can tell, it's not picking up my like foundation stuff, which is nice. That's actually pretty good. I actually really like that shade. I don't know how well, again, my lighting is kind of horrible right now because I'm running out of daylight. I really need to just get it done. And then the light, there's like a big window over here, but not over here. So half my face is probably well lit and then half is not. This is not my good side. This is my good side, and my bad side is more well lit. So go me. Okay, I'm gonna lightly tap back over with my Too Faced Peach Powder again, just to make sure that that's set. And then I have not used this in so long because again, this was one that was packed up in like my storage for a while. This is the Amrezy highlighter, and even before I packed it up, I didn't really use it a ton because it was just one of those like silly like mental things that I do where I'm like, it's so pretty, I don't want to mess it up, and then I would choose other highlights to use, or I was painting other highlights. So I feel like I barely remember what this looks like. I mean, obviously I know it's like a gold highlight, but I haven't remembered if I like love it on me. I remember thinking that it's not as intense as I was expecting it to be, because it blew up on YouTube so long ago. And in fact, I didn't buy it until it restocked the second time when they like brought it back, and because it was so hyped up on YouTube, that's why I was like, okay, people like talk about this highlight all the time, it's limited edition, it's sold out. And the moment they brought it back, I was like, I can't not get it this time. And then when I tried it, I remember thinking like, it's not the most intense thing. Like I was expecting it to be way more intense, and I think at the time I was kind of disappointed in it. I was like, man, shouldn't it be a little bit more like in your face? But now I think I realize like there's value, as it's not like, I don't really want it to be like super intense in my face. So especially these crow's feet that I have not taken care of the entire pregnancy pretty much. They've kind of gotten a lot worse because I haven't taken care of my skin like I used to. And I mean, you can't use a retinol and things like that, and I haven't necessarily hydrated my face as well, and I am dehydrated, and those things do in fact impact wrinkle, like how much your wrinkles show up and that kind of thing. Okay, real quick, I am going to, oh, that was a little bit more intense and a little more, oh wow, that was a very direct spray to the face. Anyways, I am going, hopefully it didn't mess up my makeup. I literally can't see right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put on some makeup, or put on some mascara and do some lipstick, and I'll close out this video real quick. All right, wrapping up this video, I ended up combining, I like to use two mascaras typically at once. I have the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara and the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, and then I ended up grabbing this KKW 0.5 liner, and this is a new one I bought in the spring sale last year. Have not used it yet. This is my first time using it, and it's like kind of like I thought maybe I was worried about it being too light, but I feel like it's like my exact nude shade. It's like My Lips but better kind of shade, and I quite like it. And I think I'm gonna go over the top with Buxom's Mudslide. This was another new one that I bought myself in the spring sale. I love Buxom glosses. I have Hot Toddy and DaLin, and I brought myself the full size in Hot Toddy as well. And I think I've used Mudslide like once or twice, but I figured this is a good little look to do it. It's kind of like a slightly warm toned kind of gloss, but it's also pretty sheer, so even if it's not like super warm tone, it can kind of pull however it needs to, and it's just pretty nudie, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I perhaps should have kind of exfoliated my lips a little bit. They're a little dry and crusty and maybe don't look the best right now, but either way, I hope you enjoyed this little catch up. I hope y'all know from the bottom of my heart that I indeed really miss y'all. I look forward to slowly kind of getting back to YouTube. I miss it so much. I didn't expect to miss it as much as I do, but yeah, I miss interacting with y'all. I miss how supportive and kind this community is. I miss project panning. I miss wearing my makeup, and I hope to kind of get my act together to be able to at least do 1 or 2 projects this year. I'm gonna do at least 1 project this year, but I hope to kind of upload sooner rather than later and get that started. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Please say hello in the comments, and I hope to see you in another one sooner rather than later. Definitely not this long. Like, I think it's been about 6 or 7 weeks since I've last filmed, so hopefully not that long. But anyways, again, make sure you say hello, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.